A Harvard professor who called for homeschooling to be banned is suffering from some serious humiliation as the entire world begins homeschooling. That's what we're talking about on today's video. We're going to take a look at the latest example of liberals embracing illiberalism with this call to ban homeschooling and how it actually ends up showing how much leftist liberals are at war with reality. You're going to love it. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. Awesome to be with you as always. If this is your first time here at this channel, we post 2 videos a day analyzing current events and like some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So you know what to do if you haven't already done so. You're going to make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. It'd be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel where we daily celebrate together the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Also, for everyone, before you do anything else, make sure to click on the link below and check out the awesome video that we put together just for you, featuring our brand new Turley Talks Insiders Club. We're so thankful to those of you who've already signed up, and you're really going to love being a part of a massive group of conservatives from all over the world to network with. By becoming a member, you get more exclusive access to me and our journey together into this new conservative age we're embarking on. Each week, you get a special deep dive video reserved solely for our Insiders members. You'll get access to our private Facebook group that features conservatives from all over the world. It's absolutely wonderful. Plus, you get my monthly reading list to keep you updated on the best and most enriching information that's out there. You get a number of bonus videos, and you'll even get some really awesome accessories like our totally cool Turley Talks tumbler to drink your coffee in, or whatever your beverage of choice happens to be, all for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. So don't wait. Make sure to click on the link below. Watch the video in the Turley Talks Insiders Club to get a fuller sense of what you'll be a part of. This offer to join for such a low price is only for a limited time. So click on that link. It'll be an absolute privilege to journey with you into this new conservative age together. All right, let's dive right in here. The recent May-June edition of Harvard Magazine had a rather bizarre, if not frankly embarrassing piece as its lead article. It's a piece entitled "The Risks of Homeschooling." Its author was Erin O'Donnell, a longtime writer for Harvard Magazine. Now, the title is innocuous enough, but she goes on to interview a Harvard law prof by the name of Elizabeth Bartholet, I guess. She's the faculty director of Harvard's Law School's Child Advocacy Program. And the interview was basically a vignette of a much longer work that Bartholet published in an academic journal. Now, of course, keep in mind, this was all written and researched and argued long before the coronavirus outbreak, okay? But nevertheless, to the shock of many readers, this Harvard prof went on to argue that homeschooling should actually be banned because, in effect, it gives parents authoritarian control over the kids and can even expose them to white supremacy and misogyny. I kid you not. This is not make-believe, gang. This is not a Saturday Night Live spoof. This is real life. Here's what Bartholet told Harvard Magazine, and I quote, "The issue is, do we think that parents should have 24/7 essentially authoritarian control over their children from ages 0 to 18? I think that's dangerous. I think it's always dangerous to put powerful people in charge of the powerless and to give the powerful ones total authority. It's also important that children grow up exposed to community values," she goes on, "social values, democratic values, ideas about non-discrimination and tolerance of other people's viewpoints, of which apparently the viewpoint of homeschooling is not welcome." As John Hirschauer over at National Review rightly points out, this Harvard law professor's right to exposure to alternative views, whatever frankly the hell that means. How on earth do you have a right to exposure to alternative views? But nevertheless, this so-called right, of course, works only in one direction for this Harvard professor. Should that not mean also that a secular child raised by a pair of secular leftist parents, should this fabricated right mean that that child would have to be sent to a Christian monastery, for a few months each year in order to fully understand the alternative religious worldview? Well, of course not. Don't hold your breath. Of course not. And in her academic piece that was written for the Arizona Law Review, this Harvard prof clarifies that this right to the exposure of alternative views applies only to the secular formation of the child. In other words, in her world, in her leftist liberal la-la land, a child being raised in a conservative Christian home is obligated to be exposed to leftist, liberal, cosmopolitan, globalist values, but not the other way around. Heads I win, tails you lose. Now, it gets worse if you can believe it, but I'm frankly going to spare you the incredibly condescending and patronizing details. You can read them for yourself in the article or in the journal piece. But needless to say, the humiliating irony in all this is that this article is being published at a time when the freaking whole world is homeschooling. I mean, think, it just shows how far liberals are radically removed from reality. We've said this before in our videos. To be a leftist liberal entails the fact that you must be at war with reality. Leftist liberals are at war with reality because they are fundamentally illiberal. Even Piers Morgan has recognized that. To be a leftist liberal like this Harvard professor entails the fact that you have to be fundamentally illiberal. Leftist liberalism designates anything, everything that contradicts the fundamental tenets of liberalism as hateful, bigoted, sexist, authoritarian, ignorant, anti-democratic, on and on and on. Leftist liberals are inherently tyrannical, and in that sense, they're fundamentally at war with reality. They are inescapably a performative inconsistency. Their own belief system is inherently self-defeating. They run around inventing new rights every single day, yet they have no objective moral law with which to endow those rights with even a shred of moral obligation. They run around championing the right to an abortion, not realizing that every single pro-abortion argument is the direct beneficiary of a pro-life reality. And it just goes downhill from there. That's why they require fake news. Fake news is simply an extension of the fact that leftist liberals are at war with reality. And nothing demonstrates this war with reality more than the publication of this call to ban homeschooling during the single most massive explosion in homeschooling the world has ever seen. Now, left-wing liberals have long hated homeschooling and have long set their sights on ending it. You may have seen this. The latest front in Russian infiltration. Did you hear that? The evil Russian infiltration. And what's the latest front in this evil Russian infiltration? It's America's right-wing homeschooling movement. This was published by the now defunct Think Progress website. Think Progress ain't making not much progress no more. It's an officially dead leftist organization, and as you read through this article, and the tendentiousness is so blatantly juvenile, it's embarrassing in the written piece. But the bottom line is that now the American homeschooling movement, being led by this right wing, the ultra right, the radical right Homeschool Legal Defense Association, well, now they're guilty of having the audacity to network with Russian homeschooling associations. You may not know that Russia actually has the third largest homeschooling population in the world. We've done a video on that, of course. And this was also before the coronavirus outbreak, where we're now all homeschooling. But they were third only to the United States and Britain. And of course, they point fingers to our good friend Alexei Komov, who we've interviewed on this channel, who's spearheading the translation of the Classical Conversations curriculum into Russian. They zeroed in on him and his corrupting influence on American right-wing, radical right, crazy right homeschoolers. You see, this is fake news for a leftist liberalism that's at war with reality. And you know what? Things are so bad now for the leftist liberal. The world is so rejecting their war on reality. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually came out and started demanding that we just actually ban the family. I mean, forget banning homeschooling. Let's just abolish the family altogether. I mean, wait a minute. The George Soros-funded Open Democracy Organization has already proposed that. That's right. The Soros-funded Open Democracy Organization wants to now ban the family. And why? For more or less the exact same reasons that Harvard Prof wants to ban homeschooling. But don't worry, the left-wing liberals over at the New York Times assured us just last year, several months back, that liberals emphatically do not want to destroy the family. How on earth did such a preposterous idea leap to the forefront of conservative thinking? I know, it must be those right-wing homeschoolers. The absurdity from the liberal left literally knows no bounds. And the beauty is that when you're at war with reality, you can be sure that reality always wins in the end. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my video on ultra-liberal colleges collapsing throughout the United States as a result of the coronavirus. It's going to be absolutely stun you how many colleges may be closing their doors permanently in a matter of mere months. You're going to love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.